In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.
What's going on, everybody? How are you all today? This is an amazing day. This is episode 9 of Choppin It Up with Chook. Shout outs to everyone here at my DC Radio family, Mr. Shane Lewis and Max Myrick and everyone here. And then Mrs. Malika Caldwell stopped through the studio again today. So shout out to Malika today. Listen, I'm getting right to it. Today is a great day. And y'all, if y'all been looking at social media and my posts and all that stuff, then you know who I have in the studio. Yes, it is like I said, I described you as the first original DC Renaissance man in my era. And an amazing...
I can't take that credit, but I will say second.
Okay.
Duke Ellington is the first.
Okay. You're right, okay.
Duke Ellington is the first. And then not since Duke Ellington.
Gotcha.
Has there been anyone? I'll take that. I've learned how to live in my truths.
Yes, indeed. So if y'all don't know, it is the Wes Felton. Yeah. What's going on, brother?
Peace, man. Hey, it's always good to be in the presence of good friends and family, man.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. But my introduction for you is, everybody, this is episode 9. And I don't think there could ever be another episode that I will have that is like this one, because this gentleman here, when I tell you how we are connected, it's more than just like Libra brothers. Mm-hmm. When he say Libra twin, we literally were born the same year, same month, hold on, same day. Mm-hmm. If y'all think it couldn't get no better than that, we were born at the same hospital.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy. Columbia Hospital for Women in DC.
And then years later, we ended up
same school?
going to high school together at one point. Then I got out of Wilson because it was too crazy there. Went to school without walls. But man, that's always been a blessing. And then years later, times when I would be on tour or be on the road in LA when you were living out there, he would always hold me down, man.
Yeah. That was one of the. I was looking for one of the posts for that to play today.
Right, exactly.
So Wes, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from?
Well,
backdrop.
Yeah, well, like we mentioned, I am a DC native. I'm actually from DC. I attended DC public schools, and I went on to study theater at Carnegie Mellon. Up in Pittsburgh. Theater saved my life, man. Like around 10th, 11th grade, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Like often it can happen to you in DC. There's a lot of traps in DC.
Yeah.
And I grew up in an area near 58th Street, so I saw a lot of things.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But fortunately enough, I was blessed with parents who, they kept me. It kept me, for the most part, straight. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Making sure you had certain morals instilled in me and things like that.
Gotcha.
So I would grow up with a conscience and wouldn't fall victim to the gimmicks and traps of society. So, but theater, somebody introduced me to a playwright named Arthur Fugard, who was a South African playwright.
Wow.
A white South African playwright.
Wow.
Who wrote, powerful pieces like Master Harold and the Boys, and some African plays that are considered like legit.
Right.
But during apartheid.
Gotcha.
So that's what made those stories even more powerful. But they put me onto this piece that was called My Children, My Africa. This substitute teacher I had named Geraldine Gilstrap. And she said to me, have you ever thought about acting? And I was like, acting? No. Because at that time, I felt weird about entertainment. I always thought that entertainment was detrimental to our people in many ways, because it was more used for entertainment value and consumption purposes versus like content, actually, representing our people in certain ways. So I always kind of looked at it, right?
Gotcha.
But when I read this play and I saw the powerful ability that, words and bringing them to life, when there's the right words, it can impact all types of people. So that was it. And then I got accepted into this summer program in Chautauqua, New York, really rare program where they only accept maybe like 10 students
Gotcha.
every summer.
Gotcha.
And you're on this compound for the whole summer amongst ballet dancers, visual artists, and all that. So I had an opportunity to really get submerged in not just the art form of acting, but just the arts.
Gotcha.
And it changed my life, man. It made me focus, and I said, all right, I'm gonna go to college and really do this.
Dude, what's crazy is like I said, like you said, we had a little bit of time we spent like at Wilson. I think it was like a year or two. But you never know, like your the persona that you would always have with you. It was like, oh my God, this cat is cutting edge. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, you never wore the same thing twice.
I was
like fashion. You know what I'm saying? And then also, but even also back then, I always, and then even as years have come about, but you always been like very, very socially conscious and culturally conscious in your music.
Thank you.
In the platforms that you allowed yourself to be involved in, and all of that stuff. So, man, my hat goes off to you, man, a million times over. And then, like I said before, we were talking out in the lobby. I said this platform is so exciting because even though like we've known each other for years, but by the time I say I'm chopping, you come chopping up with Chook, I was like, I wanted to do some research on my homies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
like we would have never known that backdrop. So what's a little bit of the inspiration like behind what you know?
Well, first and foremost, my father was a jazz pianist named Hilton Felton.
Gotcha.
He passed away like 11 years ago.
Gotcha.
But folks that know that, in many ways, he was a pioneer.
Absolutely.
In his right. He
Absolutely.
was one of them cats who grew up in the church. All of his siblings were ministers, but he chose music.
Gotcha.
But he was also playing in his father's church, playing that Hammond organ at age 4.
Wow.
Can you imagine being a 4-year-old and you're leading the service?
Right.
He was fortunate enough to be blessed with that skill, and ability to do that. And ultimately, it led him to wanting to make new stories and break cycles. We were talking about it earlier, how there's a lot of times in Black community and often in the Black church that there are things that we've been taught that are tradition or beliefs, but really it's just something that was doctrinated on someone and then just perpetuated and passed along.
Generation.
So my father wanted to break that. My father and my mother. So they left Norfolk, Virginia as teen parents and teen husband and wife and moved to D.C. My father went to Howard University to study study music.
Got it.
Music major, roommates with Donny Hathaway.
Gotcha.
Classmates with Richard Smallwood, Melba Moore.
Gotcha.
So their choir was lit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they also protested for jazz studies to exist there because at that time, they were only being taught still about Bach.
Right.
And,
Right.
The European musicians, what we were told to be only music. And they were like, man, we want to know about Coltrane and we want to know about all these other things that are going on.
Gotcha.
And after a little bit of protest, they ultimately did have that, at Howard.
Wow.
So that's my inspiration. My father kind of laid down the blueprint. Because if you speed it up, he also was an artist who recorded with Grant Green, George Benson. He's been on a lot of famous rock records. He was also original Soul Searcher. So Chuck Brown.
Yeah.
So when you hear those old records, that's my dad playing organ and keys on all those records. We the People, and he's even on the album covers too.
Gotcha.
Allows records. So, but when it came to his own music, he put it out himself.
Got it.
So before there was a whole concept of indie artists and indie labels,
Gotcha.
My dad created this his own label called Hilton's Concept.
Gotcha.
And he began to put out his own records, which now are very, you go online, man, people, they selling them for anywhere. I've seen some of his records as high as up to like $2,000 a piece sometimes. Gotcha.
You know what? So you actually then made a perfect segue because some years ago, I think 2011, it's a whole bunch of things that we're going to talk about here on this show today. Yeah, I'm glad to see you, brother.
Absolutely.
Like I said, it's very, very rare that you meet a person that y'all literally born on the same day, same year, all of that stuff. So it's a different energy, Yeah. But some years ago, 2011, I had an opportunity. I had album, basically Chook. Y'all go out there, it's all online, all that stuff. But there was one song on this album, and you kind of just gave the segue that me and you partnered with on, and it was the concept of the song is called Time with Pop.
Yeah.
And what happened was, when I was producing the song, when Dad came in, he was playing this, this melody. He was like, Chook, what about this? Do, 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 And I said, wait a minute. I said, let me record it. And then after I did the track, I was like, who do I know that could really bring this all the way, make it make sense? And I reached out to you, and I had just got back from California, so I didn't even know your dad had passed.
Transition,
and when I'm going to play this song for y'all. This is a song on my Basically Chook album featuring Wes Felton, and the name of the song is entitled Time with Pop, and you're listening to it right here on Choppin' It Up with Chook, DC Radio.
It all boils down to communication. Sitting there holding the dreams, being patient. Life is short, no time for move faking. Give me a second, love, I hear my call waiting.
Yo, what up, dub? This Chook. Are you free?
Hold on, let me get off the other L-I-N-E. Call me back. What up, cat? You still in Cali?
Nah, man, I had to get out of that valley of death. You know how this business goes. The life behind the music videos and shows. And all of those people who suppose that's what I'm in this for. You dig?
Speaking to dig, man, I got a handsome kid. It's so amazing how fast they get big.
Dub, what up with Pops?
Man, you ain't heard? He passed away, I can't find the words. It's kinda crazy, I miss my dad. He was one of the best friends I ever had. But I'm so thankful for the path he created for me before he passed.
Well, from Libra to Libra, you sounded balanced. And plus you also learned his talent. No worries, my brother, life goes on. By the way, how you feeling? You been writing them songs?
What? Come on, Chook, you gotta be kidding. Me without a song is like the Colonel without chicken.
Right.
Cause they still don't spit what I'm spitting. The cream rises to the top once was written.
True.
And plus, when you on a mission, they make it real hard to get your position.
Yeah.
Anyway, my girl's tripping.
Hold up, before you go, I made a track, have a listen.
Wow, we.
Dude, you about to have me up in here
Brother. Years ago. We never know. I never knew I would have this platform. Me and you will link up today. God does all things great.
Absolutely.
So, Yeah, I know, you got me up in here. I'm feeling kind of way there. Let me try to go back to the script.
Oh, man.
So, you've experienced a lot, brother, in this music and entertainment, artistry, theatrical, all of that stuff. And we call it the entertainment game, the music game. I always share with the people, I say the definition of game is a competition that's based on specific rules.
Yeah.
So Chopping It Up with Chook is a platform where I love to bring in local, national, international artists. And if their journey can help someone to strengthen their rules of engagement, then that's what this show is for. So
absolutely,
you
man.
know,
I tell people all the time, man. Like I say that we weren't put on this earth for anybody.
Right.
We were put on this earth for everybody.
Y'all writing that down? You listening? You watching it on streaming?
We weren't put on this earth for anybody.
Gotcha.
We were put on this earth for everybody.
Wow.
And I try to stress the importance of the service. Mm-hmm. So often as artists, we get caught up in the benefits of what we do, and then those benefits become the priorities.
Gotcha.
And we forget that it's first about the service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's about the idea that you were blessed with this ability to do things creatively.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, in many ways, artists, we're like engineers. We're problem solvers.
Gotcha.
But instead, we find creative solutions to problems.
Got it.
A great artist from D.C., Marvin Gaye, once said, the artist pays the price, so you don't have to pay if you will only listen to what they have to say.
Wow.
So, and then he talks about, you know, some songs are made for love, some songs are made for hate, some songs, you know, some songs are created by chosen men, some by insane men.
Gotcha.
So it's the idea that it's the service, and that's always been my my focus. You know, people often question and say, well, you know, Dub, why you not super famous? Or, man, you should be doing this. And, man, when I found out I was going to be a father, that was, it, you know, and...
I could change a lot, brother.
I only believe like, oh, well, I know if I preserve myself, that the art and the career and the music, it's going to be there.
Right.
But to actually be that time to put in with my son physically.
Got you. Ooh, brother.
Yeah.
Ooh.
To be present.
Yeah.
And,
man.
And God has, he's blessed me and preserved me in a way to where he's even proven me wrong.
Got you.
For doubting the choice that I made, you know.
Yep.
As fathers, we're often not given credit for making the choice of being in our children's lives. Often we're told, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. And the reality of it is that we live in a society where, as Black boys growing into Black men, we have outsiders constantly telling us what we should do, how we should be. In many instances, men go home to family members and significant others who do that to them.
Right.
And it's very hard often to self-motivate yourself.
Got you.
And have the self-discipline to stick to yourself, your agenda. And I'm just thankful that I've had the patience, as well as, you know, selective members of my community who have helped me to make my goal happen.
Right.
And that was to be in my son's life. And let him see me in real time.
Right.
Do what I do.
Right.
While also showing other men that don't let people tell you that being rich or having money defines you as a father.
Right.
Like, if you can be there, that's more valuable than anything.
It is.
Sorry.
No. So listen. So
and these are tears of joy.
Yeah.
For me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Anybody that knows me, they know I'm a crier.
Yeah.
I'm an actor, man. So I'm passionate. I'm an artist. So so I don't. You know, these aren't tears of sadness. You know, it's just amazing. You know, there's times when I doubt myself, but then I somehow find a way, or God finds a way to prove me wrong.
Absolutely, brother.
So that's it.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you now because look, I need a regrouping moment for a second. Yeah. listen. If don't nobody else tell you, brother, today I'm telling you in front of everybody who's listening, everybody who's streaming, Dub, Wes Felton, brother, there's so many people around you that are so proud of not only the things that you have accomplished, and we'll talk about a little bit of that later, but the standard that you set from way back when. And then we saw people in our same age group that was making these amazing monumental strides.
Right.
Dude, you've been an inspiration to me, brother.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we literally the same day. I don't know I know I was born at 3 p.m. You know what time you were born?
Nah, man. But I do think this is like my third time on this earth. So
Gotcha.
I'm trying. This time around, I've been trying to get it right.
Gotcha.
You know?
I got you.
Yeah.
So listen. So I want the listening, the listeners and the viewers. Let's go into one of your songs, man, because you have a plethora of music.
Yeah.
You sent me something this morning. I was up late last night listening to some of your songs.
Yeah.
So
it's a song I sent you actually called "Dust Unlimited Dreams."
Okay.
My friend and collaborative brother Raheem Devon. We have a group together called Crossroads. Raheem also has his own independent company, which is Devon Media Group.
Gotcha.
Where in 2020 he'll be rolling out artists like myself and Yazra, and a couple of other people. And this particular song, my project that I'm letting his label put out is called Dust and Limited Dreams.
Got it.
So the song I sent you is the title cut from it.
Got it.
And it just deals with the idea of kind of what we're talking about, you know. For years, I was addicted to relationships.
Gotcha.
And I felt the pressure as a society that tells us as men that that's the only way, one of the ways we can define ourselves.
Gotcha.
Is making sure you're in a structured relationship and you gotta, even if that relationship is toxic.
Absolutely.
We find ways to put
real talk now, brother.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, the last relationship I had, I was able to witness kind of how that young lady and her ex interacted and engaged, and I learned a lot. But also, I also learned that often, if we're not really clear or clean of our, negative past, that stuff comes in with us.
Yeah, it does.
So for the last 2 years, I've been taking the time to really work on eliminating any toxic qualities I have, focusing on the negative patterns and routines that I created for myself that would start these relationships off a certain way and continue, and then it produces what it always does.
Absolutely, you're right.
I learned how to, in that situation, I'm the common denominator.
Gotcha.
These women are all different women. So I can't blame them because I'm the common denominator. So this song, Dust and Limited Dreams, kind of talks about that awakening of yo.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right.
But it's a shame how dreams things that are so important, or we think it's so important, how we get reminded how it could just fade away like dust.
Absolutely.
So,
brother, listen, I don't even need the agenda and the blueprint that I set up for this, because this is going in a great direction, and this is the direction that it's supposed to go in on Chopping It Up with Chook. So listen up, everybody. You are listening to Dust and Limited Dreams by Wes Felton here on Chopping It Up with Chook, DC Radio.
Damn the rules, it's just the feeling that counts. Some things I started have now concluded. I'm glad she bounced. 'Cause now I can evolve beyond diamonds and rims that revolve. Something solid has dissolved into dust and limited dreams. I guess the story never gets old. Hearts turn cold for the price of gold. Poker face lover, how I fold into dust and limited dreams. I wanna do what comes and feels natural for me, for me. I refuse to be your puppet of another man's dream. 'Cause I'm looking for new ground to explore. I gotta go beyond my shape and form. It's hard to stretch when you so torn into dust and limited dreams. I guess the story never gets old. Hearts turn cold for the price of gold. Poker face lover, how I fold into dust and limited dreams. a feeling that counts. Some things I started have now concluded. I'm glad she bounced.
Listen up. Dust and Limited Dreams by Wes Felton. So listen, brother, the topic that we were just talking about, we had to take a regroup minute.
Yeah.
So that's what you are saying, some stuff that's very, very true. Also, I've been looking at and being very, very cognizant of like the mental health.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how not only men experience the mental health challenges, but men of our color.
Oh, absolutely.
And like the last album, the newest album, those of you who have it, y'all understand All Things Love. But the way the album was broken down into, I had to do that same thing. The album was broken down into, I call it my I went through the 3 seasons of love. So the first season was the season of regret.
Okay.
And that's where I regretted putting myself into certain scenarios, Sometimes, I had to be glad that the person was gone. The other person sometimes had to be glad that I was gone because I wasn't in the right place.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? But then after that, then I went to the album, the second season is the season of reality.
Yeah.
And the season of reality is when I said, boom, I had to look at the person in the mirror.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And, and get myself on point. I had to learn more about me. I had to learn about love. I had to learn the love languages.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. And then, the last season is the season of redemption. And that's when love comes back around with its 2 friends, joy and happiness.
Yeah.
And brings all your dreams true and stuff that you never knew could happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a major thing for us to take a moment, take a step back. And and do the work.
Well, the thing about it, I'm not really heavy into like horoscopes, nothing like that.
Gotcha.
But I've learned as a Libra, that's a skill set that we have if we're able to tap into it.
Right.
If we're not careful, though, we're able to tap into the negative skill sets of that. I've learned definitely one thing I learned these last 2 years of just being like mentally, emotionally, and physically single was also that like anything I want, I can get it.
Gotcha.
So I don't have to like over react or over chase something or none of that.
Right.
It's just a matter of me deciding like, okay, like, is this what I want to do? Is that young lady who I want to meet? If that, you understand what I'm saying? Versus like, putting that pressure on myself to feel obligated to validate myself or make other people feel better or comfortable by choosing a box or a type to be in. But on that mental illness tip, you talk about how me growing up, how I was always rocking different gear and things like, man, that's not an easy process.
Gotcha.
People, I remember people made fun of me for being a black dude with a mohawk in DC.
Right.
But in many ways, you have to bear that cross so that way maybe 5 years or 10 years later, other people can just comfortably walk around DC like that.
Brother, I'm telling you in front to your face. Brother, seeing you in real talk, and never, patterning ourselves after anybody else, but your boldness and what it was? It was the security. Like, and when I tell you all, it was like the fashionable stuff as I got older. I was like, man, this should have been on, what is it, the New York Fashion Week, all that stuff. Like,
but the thing we have to be careful with is when we see people like that in our community, we have to constantly encourage them and support them and let them know, like, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be unique. It's okay to be different versus picking a box. Oh, you a sissy. Or oh, you a Bama.
Right.
Or you this. Or you broke because you ain't wearing a New Balance. Or what? And if you don't come from a solid foundation, that type of stuff can create mental illness, depression. One thing I've learned is that I believe that people are born certain ways. I acknowledge that. But I believe more that often people are pushed into mental illness,
Got
and
you.
these things. And we have to find ways to identify our own triggers and not let people have access to them.
Got you.
But also, if people in our lives who do have access to those triggers, to not allow them to be able to push them easily, require a fob key or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the crazy thing about it is, like, a lot of consumers, they see like your artistry or when you're on stage and stuff like that, but never know the backdrop. I'm like, brother, I remember. And I'm going back. I remember watching a Teen Summit episode, and they featured you on, and they were, at the
Went
crib.
to the crib and saw the sneakers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was a sneakerhead before sneakerhead.
Dude, so how many years ago? Yeah, we tell that was over 20 years ago.
Yeah, man, that was 1993, man.
See?
Yeah,
and that was back then, so you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot that comes with being an artist. It's a lot that comes with being an entertainer. So what is one of the things that you love most about it? And there's a flip side to that question, because the second half of it is what don't you like?
Well, I can say what I first enjoy about it. I enjoy, again, being able to affect people.
Got you.
My brand and my label is called Art Hurts. And the exclamation point is on the art part. It's not on the hurts.
Got it.
People assume when they hear Art Hurts that I'm talking about, because it's hard out here, stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's actually what I'm saying is I come from the train of thought that if your art isn't affecting people, it's not making them move, either physically, mentally, emotionally, then I don't really check for it.
Got you.
Because again, art saved my life, and it saved my life by way of showing me a purpose and how to use this as a tool. So I believe like art is my weapon. Like it's my weapon. There's been scenarios where, like I live uptown, like by the cathedral, right? Ain't a lot of brothers up in that area. We went to school up that way.
Gotcha.
But every so often I'll have like this random like white person that's just walking down the street, and they'll say, "Hey man, I really appreciate your music," or I really love your art. And I'll just kind of like scratch my head like, what?
You never
Who is
know,
this?
right?
So, but what it does, it just reminds me that you never know who's watching. That's something my father always taught me.
Got you.
My father always taught me to be ready, be prepared.
Got you.
Because there's a lot of people out here who desire certain things or say they want certain things, and then when that thing arrives or that phone call comes, they not ready. They can't. You know what I'm saying? So I function that way.
Got it.
And I've just learned to again I learned how to the cliche kind of let go and let God in a sense.
Yeah.
And then after my recent trip to Ghana, and that really.
Yeah.
That really kind of washed me clean of a lot of the false narratives that myself and a lot of brothers and sisters settle for, that not only just this country perpetuates, but also the Black community perpetuates.
Gotcha.
That's not healthy for us.
Right.
And so that's just where I'm at, man.
You dropping gems today, brother, and I appreciate that.
That's just where I'm at, man.
So on the flip side of it, what don't you?
So that's the positive part about it, and I love that.
Gotcha.
I love that. Obviously, I love that feeling of the applause, and and when people can come back and give you feedback of how you changed their lives. But the flip side of it, I say this to people all the time. I wonder what Heaven's choir sounded like before Lucifer got kicked out. What did that music sound like, right? Because we never hear about, and another thing is, they don't ever say that God stripped him of his talent or whatever he was doing that caused the chaos, right? He was just banished to go, right? So I believe that the entertainment industry was given to the devil by God. And it's very much the devil's playground.
Gotcha.
And just like any playground, you got the monkey bars, you got you got the swings, the seesaw,
Right.
You got the sandbox.
Right.
Sandbox is kind of where everybody can
come
meet
together,
come once in a while,
right.
you know. But there's levels to it. With that said, that introduces the concept of misogyny, racism, sexism, all of those things. It opens the doorway for the early introductions to classism.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cliques. And so it is very much an industry still where there are a lot of shortcuts.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those shortcuts often involve people compromising their souls.
Right.
The integrity of their marriages, the integrity of their race. And I don't want to be one of them people, but there are times where I find myself having to do some gigs that I might not necessarily like. Want, because I think overall it's supporting and presenting and pushing still that agenda of like the devil's devil's work.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? And back in the day, Reverend Ike, I love it the best, man. Reverend Ike, one of the guys that they used to tell us not to listen to when we were young growing up as Christians. I like the way he drops it, where he's like, you know, it's all about accountability. And if you don't do nothing that you can't own up to,
right,
and be held accountable for, you know? Because what people like to do is they like to find these convenient gods and devils to blame their poor decisions on.
Right.
So in the music industry, that's basically what you're dealing with. It is literally, I think, the ultimate battle. That's the biggest battle and struggle between the devil and God.
Gotcha.
Whatever those two words mean to you, that's in real time where that battle is going on, and it's constant.
And you know what? There's another thing, and that's very, very. I'm glad you said that. I expressed the other day, and I will say it again. It's something to take something as pure as a song or a poem or any artistic thing. You painted a picture or anything that has come from inside, and you have gone through all of the challenges and the ups and downs inside to be able to put it on some kind of canvas. Then not only is it not the canvas, not just for you, but now you're opening it up to the entire world, whether it be criticism, whether it be appreciation, you know what I'm saying?
I saw just recently, like Andre 3000 from Outkast. He recently, you know, did a podcast with Rick Rubin.
Oh, gotcha.
But he talks about, like, he first clarified and made it clear, like, no, there is not a record coming.
Right.
You know, how you'll hear these rumors like, oh, you know, Andre 3000 in the studio working on a new record.
Right.
And he said it because this industry has a way, when it comes to men of color, it has a way of really just treating you disposable. Like, you know, first of all, in this industry, we're not allowed to be diverse. We got to either be one extreme or the other. We're either the predator or we're the sexualized prey, or we're in the middle and you got to be ambiguous.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Yeah. I would.
Soft, non-threatening.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But Justin Timberlake gets to be whatever type of man he wants to be every year.
He does.
Every record. You understand what I'm saying?
You're right.
Even at one point, Garth Brooks was even out here using 5 different names. He had aliases and
sure did.
so forth. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it comes to us, we don't get that. We don't get that same kind of opportunity.
Well, you have maintained a presence of being creative in so many ways, and I love the way you express your thoughts and your feelings through your music. You know what I'm saying? And like you mentioned earlier, you know, even you and another brother, Raheem Devon. So you all, if you go back to my episode 8, I played a song that I told you co-produced with with Tank and Big Bob and all of them, the song Full Time for Heather Headley. I forgot to mention that's actually Raheem Devon. That was years ago, but that's him singing all of the background vocals and the arrangement of the background vocals on that song. So it's a blessing that we all are still doing what we've been doing for years.
And that's not by coincidence. Like we talk about how you and I are born literally at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Raheem and I, growing up in two different parts of the country.
Gotcha.
Both had jazz musicians as fathers.
Wow.
Raised by single mothers.
Gotcha.
Brought up in the church, but still was taught diverse belief systems by way of Islam, by way of Buddhism, by whatever. And then years later, we would meet up and find each other on U Street.
Wow.
And literally, Raheem and I have been working together over 20 years, man.
Gotcha.
It's not a lot of people that can say that.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people that can say they still friends with somebody.
Right.
From 20 years ago.
That's right.
Let alone be able to be friends and work together.
Right. Still on the earth.
Yeah.
Some of the people we know for 20 years.
Man, we lose. And that's the other thing. My father used to tell me about that. Like, hey, get ready. Just know when y'all get older, you're going to start seeing people dropping like flies.
Yeah.
And you know, as young people, we don't really pay attention to that stuff because we in it. But yeah, so that's not by coincidence. You know what I'm saying? And you know, even your family, I work with them,
right.
You know, as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's going. That's just how it works. And what I've learned is it's kind of like I've been really trying to build my village and my tribe.
Got you.
And like I said, we're not here for anybody. We're here for everybody.
That's it.
But like-minded people and like-spirited people, they're gonna always find each other. Last thing, Raheem and I found out when we were in Ghana that we were cousins.
Wow.
We're blood related.
Right.
We just found that out this year.
Right.
So so although they separated us from different parts of Africa and sent us here, and they say we always find a way to find each other.
How about that?
And it's not because we're descendants of Africans. It's because we're the descendants of the strongest African.
Right.
Because before they got on that boat, they had to survive 500 miles of walking barefooted.
Yeah, you're right.
And they started off as a group of 500, but ultimately end up being 200 in those dungeons. Because only 200 of them were able to survive the conditions of walking 500 miles barefooted.
Yeah.
To a river that has gold in the bottom of it, where they bathed them as the last bath. Before they then walked them an additional 40, 50 miles to the castles.
Got you.
Just to be put in the dungeon.
Yeah.
And then in there laying in doo-doo and feces, knee-high.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Yeah.
You can't see your sister or your brother or your mother or nobody anymore. All you got is just a little sliver of light and ventilation coming out. Meanwhile, above you, you're hearing people talking about love your neighbor, praise God, heaven is above. Meanwhile, we were in hell underneath.
Right. People don't understand. People don't understand. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then to be told, okay, you start getting walked out.
Right.
Like you on your way to heaven. Like, I'm finally making it upstairs to heaven.
Right.
And then they tell you, oh, my bad, you got to get on a boat too to get to heaven. Right. So they get on this boat. So,
and to bring them here, that's a whole different
And so it's important that Black folk throughout the whole diaspora understand, if they really know and understand that we are the strongest of the strongest, at that point, it's nothing. It's nothing you can't. It's nothing you can't do.
But you're hitting the nail on the head, because the main thing is learning our identity and then being secure in your identity.
Yes.
You know, and then, you know, your purpose and all that stuff, more than that, you got to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way your passion is in unveiling a lot of stuff that you talk about and sing about in your music. So this one song that you got, Malcolm Littles. Can you?
Okay, so Malcolm Littles is from the. By the way, I have a project out that just came out last month called The Year of Return. Mm-hmm. I named it that in honor of the Year of Return and the impact that my time in Ghana had on me. Mm-hmm. But it's not necessarily about Africa. Mm-hmm. It's about the experience of the African American.
Gotcha.
And where we are now.
Gotcha.
So Malcolm Littles is a record that it's a hip hop joint that basically plays off of the idea that, like, where the Malcolm X's at?
Right.
I see Lil this and Lil that and Lil who and Little this and
right.
Gotcha. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the song itself, I have a moment in there where I talk about where I say grown men out here worshiping babies.
You're right.
There's about 5 artists with the name Baby in it.
Listen, y'all.
So it's not to knock them, those artists.
Gotcha.
But it's to really challenge the listener and really make them think about it. Like,
and you got lyrical content.
Yeah.
And it makes you listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I shot a video for this song. I shot it in London.
Okay.
So people can check it out online as well. Because I'm a filmmaker as well. So, you know, I shoot my own videos and whatnot. But I'm proud of that moment because people aren't aware that our brothers and sisters, even in the UK and in London, they dealing with a lot of racism and a lot of the things, conditions like we deal with over here.
Absolutely.
And it's important for us to bring awareness, even if it's just by the identity of them. Right. So the way we have these gun issues with the brothers killing each other over there, they're battling knives.
Yeah.
So, you understand?
So, shameless plug. Yeah. If y'all go back to episode 1, Chopping It Up with Chook, I had the flow assist and her husband, super producer Robbie Maddox from London and from UK and Manchester, and they were over here, and on that episode, we talked about that. And I actually had time to spend with them. Another shameless plug, on some of the music, I played a couple of things for they just did the advertisement, the advertisement for UK, it's called Stop It.
Yeah.
And it's about the knife violence that you were talking about. So you are right here on Chopping It Up with Chook. Let's take a listen to this Malcolm Littles by Wes Felton here on DC Radio.
This world is so fickle. No Malcolm X's, only Malcolm Littles. Less weddings, more widows. Fighting over chicken Georges and the spickles. Basic, so simple. Destroying the temple, employing the killers of our mentals. Screaming, Father, can you hear me like Yentl? No Malcolm X's, only Malcolm Littles. Follow me now. Yeah, it's wartime. Walking through London in between tour times. A waste of life is how you spend your time. You only get one, so you might as well soar high. Life is more than a mirage, or selling out or self-sabotage. I won't play the way that you say. It's blasphemy if you don't work after you pray. So, y'all Bama's on clown mode. Blow up dolls and clown hoes. Yeah. I don't pander or brown nose. Nah. I don't wander around hoes. Nah. Grown men out here worshiping babies. Trying to run from my destruction, let's go crazy. By any means necessary, killing babies. 400 years later, mental slavery. Yeah, I know. Blah, blah, blah. Kill, money, clothes, and cars. Still love you, brothers, for who you are. Do Allah, call it a love bazaar. This world is so fickle. No Malcolm X's, only Malcolm Littles. Less weddings, more widows. Fighting over chicken Georges and the spickles. Basic, so simple. Destroying the temple, employing the killers of our mentals. Screaming, Father, can you hear me like Yentl? No Malcolm X's, only Malcolm Littles. Yeah, I'm so exasperated by brothers dying. Y'all so fascinated with others dying. Fuck a list, I'm one of the greatest, y'all trying. Tuck and nip, them bitches fake is in line. Don't remind me that's just that Sankofa. Yeah. Sometimes I let it take over. I go, I may, like a Kumasi soldier, chopping off your head, off your shoulders. It ain't my fault. Your man should've told you. Winter's coming. It's getting colder. Champagne kisses always ruin my missus. Horace and Dickies ordering plates of fishes. Colonizers, gentrifiers, taking pictures. The news DC, I swear it's so vicious. What's next on they wish list? AKA which hood? I'm tired. Can I get a witness?
Yeah.
Malcolm Littles. So much lyrical content, brother. Listen, I know we're coming close to the end of the show, but I would not dare have you come in here and we don't chop it up on, you know what I'm saying, on some freestyle or something of that nature. So let me see.
What you got going on over
there?
Let me see. You're a little intimidating over here with this, with this keyboard. Okay. See, I was born in Northeast DC, around the corner from Seat Pleasant PG. Up the street was the quadrant of Southeast. Lincoln Heights, Clay Terrace taught me about beef. I played ball on Drew and Watts courts. Never joined the drug game, but I got sport. Who would have thought 58th was cooking up art, while the rest of them dudes was cooking up rocks. And it don't stop yelling F the cops, digging in the crates of my pops. See, I'm the coolest, I'm the flyest, I'm the reason why they try this. I'm sorta like Sammy with less tapping, like Paul Robeson and HD rapping. If like Spike Lee directed what's happening, or Don Cheadle was starring as Batman, I'm the devil's worst nightmare. I'm a descendant of my ancestors, who cares? Now watch while I share a nice set of words in pairs, on loops and grooves that's rare. Feel free to pull up a chair and allow me to make my attempt to fix and repair a broke down journey that the slave trade started. Civil rights movement working they hardest. Colored water fountain, now we shopping at Target. The crack ain't kill us, now the music is the product. A proper intro should be demanded. Too many MCs taking this for granted. We should banish or at least run them out for the fallacy and fraud that come out they mouth. A proper intro should be demanded. Too many MCs taking this for granted. We should banish or at least run them out for the fallacy, that fraud. That if I was famous and you knew what my name was, would you turn me on? Would you turn me on?
Yeah.
I say, if I was famous and you knew what my name was, would you turn me on? Would you turn me on?
Listen, brother. I love it. Yes. Y'all, we literally just did that off the top of our head. The keyboard is plugged up. We didn't go over it. This is all real here on Choppin' It Up with Chook. This has been one of those episodes where we've done the musical part, we've done the entertainment side, we've given information about how to boss your game face up in the entertainment industry, how to update your life software. You know, you always want to be the best that you can be, put your best foot forward. But if you don't know where you're going, you got a problem. Yeah. So that's what we're here for, you know what I'm saying, to be able to share our journeys and things of that nature. I'm so excited, ladies and gentlemen, to have my brother Wes Felton in the studio. So Wes, what's going on coming up for you? How do they reach you?
Yeah, you know, on the social platforms, I'm Wes Felton, WESFELTON DC. And then, you know, just Wes Felton on like Facebook and things like that. I have I got a catalog of probably over, maybe 15 records that are available. You have them on your phone right now and on your various platforms, that you like to listen to music digitally by way. So I encourage folks to go out there and do that. Also, you can catch me on the road with Raheem Devon. When we're not doing Crossroads stuff, I do go with him as well and provide support vocally. And something that we've been doing recently and for like the last year and a half or so is I actually paint while I'm performing with him.
Wow.
So it's a real cool thing, to check out. So a lot of people, if you haven't had a chance to see Raheem's live show recently, it's pretty hip. It's a real cool aspect of me, doing backgrounds and doing stuff while I'm painting. And then I take a break and turn around and grab the mic and we start doing Crossroads songs.
When I tell y'all, he's a true entertainer. When I say Renaissance man, films, art, rapping, singing, good gracious, he does it all.
But that's what we are, man.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, we superheroes, man.
That's true.
Like that show Watchmen, that's out. That's basically what that show is telling you.
Yeah.
If we tap into our memories and our history that they've been trying to delete and erase from us, the more we tap into that, it's almost like us getting that spider venom or that whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Because, our ancestors were giants, man.
Right.
Giants.
So y'all keep your eyes open and ears open as well, because you all know I'm going to have another episode that's going to be themed. I'm going to have to figure out a great theme for it and everything, because I got to have you back, brother.
Absolutely, man.
You already know.
And also, if your listeners get a chance to check out love.com, it's a film that I'm one of the actors in. I played the main character's best friend in it. We filmed it entirely here in D.C. D.C. 202 Creates. These folks were all helped us be a part of it.
Wow.
It has Kim Whitley in it, Lisa Ray.
I'm going to see it.
So you can check it out on your digital platforms. So
Absolutely.
It's available like on Apple and as well as like Amazon and those.
So I'm definitely going to pull that up on my iPad.
And Raheem even has a little cameo in there as well. Oh,
really?
He's hilarious in it, man.
So listen, so we keeping it all DC. Listen up, you all. Thank you for the continued support. Like I say, I'm always going to try to make sure I have people come in here that can share their journeys, can articulate their journey clearly so that you all can, eat the meat and spit out the bones.
That's right.
Whatever parts of our journey can help you along the way to help propel you to your goals, your accomplishments, and fulfilling your visions. That's what Chopping It Up with Chook is for. And I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed. And you all already know you got to keep your ears and your eyes open, because the next episode is going to be episode 10. And I'm so thankful that, Brother Dub, you made it. You made it. Right here.
And it's only right, because we got to go into 2020 with clear vision.
You know what?
So
I'm signing off with
clear.
that.
Well, that's 2020. We going in with clear vision.
Yes, indeed.
Clear vision.
Clear vision. Everybody, this is Antone Chooky Caldwell. You've been listening to Chopping It Up with Chook here on DC Radio.
In DC, for DC. DC Radio, 96.3 HD4 and DCRadio.gov.